Walk into any RV dealership today, and a salesperson will hand you a brochure for something with a residential refrigerator, a king bed, and a touchscreen control panel, and it will be rotting from the inside within 5 years. That's not cynicism. That's what repair technicians across the country are seeing every single day. Coaches that cost $60, $80, $110,000, delaminating sidewalls, failed subfloors, slide-out mechanisms that jam closed on the side of a highway. Year 3, year 4, sometimes sooner. And here's what's interesting. While all of that is happening, a quiet group of experienced buyers, full-timers, serious travelers, people who've been burned once and refuse to get burned again, are doing something that looks completely backwards. They're deliberately hunting down coaches that are 15, 20, sometimes 25 years old. And they're not settling. They're winning. Here's why. To understand why new RVs fail so fast, you have to understand what happened to the companies that build them. Because this isn't a story about one bad batch or one bad model year. This is a structural collapse that happened over roughly 2 decades, and it has 3 distinct causes. Back in the 1990s, the RV industry was fragmented. Family-owned manufacturers, regional builders, specialists who'd been making coaches for 30 years and took real pride in the product. Fleetwood was Fleetwood. Winnebago was Winnebago. These were companies with institutional knowledge baked into every weld. Then, private equity came in. Thor Industries now controls roughly 40% of the entire North American RV market. Forest River, owned by Berkshire Hathaway, controls another large chunk. What that means in practice is that dozens of brand names consumers still trust as independent companies are actually subsidiaries running off shared cost structures, shared parts suppliers, and shared pressure to hit quarterly margins. A retired frame technician in Indiana told me something I haven't been able to shake. He said when the ownership changed at his plant, the first thing that changed wasn't the logo on the door. It was the wood. The solid plywood subfloor, standard for 20 years, got replaced with OSB, oriented strand board, the same stuff used in budget home construction, except now it's underneath your living room and your water heater, and it's going to absorb road vibration, temperature swings, and inevitable moisture for the next decade. OSB and moisture are not friends. The floor doesn't just get soft, it gets structural, and the subfloor is just the beginning. Sidewall aluminum got thinner. Fasteners went from screws to staples in some assemblies. Insulation ratings got cut. Every substitution saved a few dollars per unit. Across 100,000 units a year, that math is very attractive for the manufacturer. For you, you're the one standing in a sagging floor wondering why your $70,000 coach feels like it's coming apart. The second problem is feature bloat, and here's what the modern RV industry figured out. If you put enough stuff inside the box, buyers stop asking hard questions about the box itself. Slide-outs, residential refrigerators, washer-dryer combos, fireplace inserts, theater seating. These features aren't inherently bad, but they're being installed on frames and wall systems that were not engineered for the cumulative weight and cumulative vibration load. Every slide-out is a hole cut in your sidewall. Every hole is a potential water intrusion point. Every water intrusion point in a modern laminated fiberglass sidewall becomes a delamination event within a few years. The sidewall starts to bubble. The fiberglass skin separates from the substrate. Technicians are quoting $3,000 to $12,000 for repairs, and some coaches get written off over sidewall delamination before they're 6 years old. A couple in New Mexico, both retired, sold the house to go full-time, had their main slide-out fail to retract outside Albuquerque in 2022. Bought the coach new in 2020. Warranty had just expired. The motor failed, and the proprietary mechanism it runs on had a 6-week lead time on parts. 6 weeks. They lived in a motel while they waited. The residential refrigerator issue is its own thing. A residential fridge is designed to sit still in a climate-controlled house. It is not designed to run off an inverter, absorb road vibration for 10,000 miles a year, or handle ambient temperatures swinging 40 degrees in a day. When that compressor fails, and repair data shows it typically does within 4 to 7 years under RV conditions, it can't be fixed at a campground. Full interior disassembly. The appliance that was sold to you as a luxury upgrade becomes the most expensive single point of failure in the coach. And the third problem is the warranty cliff. Most new RVs come with a 1-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. Some manufacturers offer 2 years on structural components, 1 to 2 years on a product you might finance for 15. Repair professionals consistently report that the failure pattern on modern coaches clusters in years 2 through 5. Delamination, subfloor deterioration, slide-out mechanism failure, roof seal failure, almost never covered by the time they surface. Because the warranty window was designed around when problems become visible, not when they actually start. And when you call the manufacturer's customer service line with a delaminating sidewall in year 3, you'll often be told that moisture intrusion is a maintenance issue. Roof seal maintenance is the owner's responsibility, even when the root cause is an improperly sealed factory seam that the owner had no way to inspect or correct. The warranty exists to give you confidence at the point of sale. After that, you're on your own. So let's talk about who's actually selling you these things. Thor Industries is the umbrella over Airstream, Jayco, Heartland, Keystone, Dutchman, and more than a dozen other nameplates. When you buy a Keystone Cougar or a Heartland Bighorn, you're buying a Thor product. Same corporate parent, same cost structure, same margin pressure. There have been multiple class action lawsuits filed against Thor subsidiaries related to water intrusion and structural defects. Keystone owners documented issues across multiple model years in complaints filed with federal regulators. Delaminating sidewalls, failing slide toppers, soft floors. Not isolated incidents. Patterns. Documented patterns across thousands of owners. Forest River presents the same picture from a different angle. Under that umbrella, you have Coachman, Palomino, Shasta, Primetime, and others. Consumer complaint communities, Facebook groups with 60-70,000 members, are filled with accounts of Forest River coaches showing sidewall delamination within 2 to 3 years. Some owners reporting it before the first warranty expires and still struggling to get repairs covered. A family in rural Georgia bought a Forest River fifth wheel in 2021 as their primary residence. By 2023, both rear corners were delaminating. The dealership had closed. The nearest authorized service center had an 8-month wait. They got a partial repair covered. The rest came out of pocket. On a coach they'd owned 26 months. Now, and this is important, even brands with better reputations aren't immune. Grand Design still gets relatively strong reviews, but better than the worst isn't the same as built to last 20 years. Winnebago's own legacy lineup has faced quality criticisms post-acquisition that old-time owners find unrecognizable compared to coaches built in Forest City, Iowa in the 1980s and 90s. The problem isn't just a few bad actors. It's a manufacturing culture that normalized cost reduction as the primary engineering directive. Here's the math that genuinely surprised me when I first ran it. New mid-range Class A diesel pusher today. $145,000 financed over 15 years. Add an extended warranty. $4,500. Year 2. Slide-out motor fails. Not covered. $1,800. Year 3. Sidewall delamination. Partial coverage. You pay $2,200. Year 5. Residential fridge compressor gone. $1,600 to replace. Year 6, roof membrane failure from a factory seam that was never properly sealed. $3,800. You're past $160,000 into a coach that's 6 years old. Now run the other scenario. A 2003 Fleetwood Discovery diesel pusher, Cummins ISB engine, Allison transmission, Spartan chassis, purchased today for $28,000. It's over 20 years old. The frame is steel. The subfloor is plywood. The slide-out mechanism is a system that any RV tech in the country can service. You spend $4,000 getting it sorted. Fresh seals, new batteries, updated propane system, full roof inspection. You're in at $32,000. Yes, it needs more attention. Yes, you're going to learn how it works. But repair technicians consistently report that pre-2005 diesel pushers on name-brand chassis are still delivering reliable service at 250,000 miles when properly maintained. The mechanical systems were overbuilt. The engines were proven long before they were ever installed in a coach. The math over 10 years isn't close. So what does a smart buyer actually look for? Here's what experienced full-timers and the technicians who've worked on everything consistently point toward. Start with pre-2008 Airstream travel trailers. The aluminum monocoque shell, the self-supporting riveted structure, doesn't delaminate. It doesn't rot. It doesn't grow mold inside a foam core. There's a reason Airstreams from the 1970s are still on the road. The skin is the structure. A solid 1990s Airstream will run you $12,000 to $22,000 depending on length and condition. Properly maintained, it can genuinely last another 50 years. Pre-2005 fifth wheels on full welded steel frames are another strong option. And this is before the era of aluminum extrusion, lightweight fifth wheels that flex under load because the joints are bonded, not welded. Older Montana, Carriage, and Hitchhiker models were heavy because they were built with material. Material means longevity. Look for no evidence of prior water intrusion at the front cap and an original intact subfloor. Winnebago Itasca and Adventurer models on the Ford F-53 chassis from before 2007 deserve serious attention. The F-53 is the most serviced motorhome platform in North America. Every Ford dealer in the country can work on it. Parts are not proprietary. The engine options from this era, the Triton V10, the older 7.5-liter, are not sophisticated. They are simple. Simple is exactly what you want when you're 300 miles from a city. These coaches come up regularly in the $18,000 to $32,000 range and have owner communities that have been maintaining them for 20 years. That forum knowledge going back to 2006, what fails, what to replace proactively, what never breaks, is worth real money. Moving U. P. The workhorse P-Series chassis carrying a Cummins ISB diesel is one of the most respected platforms among full-time RV technicians and one of the least known among casual buyers. That's your opportunity. These chassis were used under Fleetwood Pace Aero, American Coach, and Holiday Rambler models through the late 1990s and early 2000s. The Cummins ISB was built for commercial applications. The Allison 2000 series transmission paired with it services easily and has a parts ecosystem that spans commercial trucking. A coach on this platform in good condition runs $25,000 to $45,000. Properly maintained, it will mechanically outlast anything on a current dealer lot. One caveat: get a pre-purchase inspection from a technician who specializes in diesel pushers. Not a general RV shop, a diesel specialist. Spend the $200. It will save you from the one that has a hidden frame issue or a coolant leak that's been cosmetically patched. The platform that experienced full-timers come back to most consistently is the early 2000s Fleetwood or Holiday Rambler on the Freightliner XC chassis. The Freightliner XC, used in Fleetwood Discovery, American Tradition, and Holiday Rambler Navigator models from roughly 1999 to 2006, is a commercial truck frame. The air ride suspension was designed specifically for this application. The engine bay is genuinely accessible. These coaches are old. Their interiors will look dated. Some will need new upholstery, updated appliances, fresh exterior work. That's cosmetic. You can fix cosmetic. You cannot fix a delaminated fiberglass sidewall on a $95,000 coach that's 4 years old without spending $8,000 and losing faith in everything the manufacturer told you. Buy the bones, update the cosmetics, drive it for 20 years. There's one rule that covers everything we've talked about today. Buy the bones, not the bells. The frame matters more than the kitchen. The chassis matters more than the floor plan. The build era matters more than the model year sticker. A 20-year-old coach with a commercial-grade chassis and a plywood subfloor isn't a compromise. It's a choice that the people who actually work on these things for a living are making themselves. Rapid version. Skip slide-out heavy floor plans on post-2010 laminated wall coaches. Look for steel frames, plywood subfloors, and chassis platforms with commercial parts ecosystems. F53, Freightliner XC, Workhorse P Series. Choose pre-2007 build years on those platforms. Spend what you save on a thorough pre-purchase inspection and proactive maintenance. That's the whole strategy. So, here's my question for you. How old is the RV you're driving right now or shopping for right now? I'm betting a lot of you are looking at something with a touchscreen thermostat and a residential fridge and already wondering why it doesn't feel as solid as you expected. Drop the year in the comments. Let's see what people are actually working with out the A's. Here. If you're tired of being sold features when you should be buying durability, subscribe. There's a lot more of this coming.